This week is a reminder that Hollywood is home to big hits and sometimes even bigger misses. Lionsgate preparing for a box office home run in the Hunger Games, while Disney took a $200 million write-down on its very expensive flop, John Carter. Our senior West Coast correspondent John Ehrlichman has more on what makes a blockbuster or bomb.
Who wouldn't make it 5 miles?
Even star Jennifer Lawrence didn't expect Hunger Games mania.
I knew it was going to be big, but this I could have never seen coming.
But it's coming, with estimates for opening weekend pushing well past $100 million with each additional pre-sold ticket.
I volunteer as tribute.
All we have to do is look at the books, and we know that we have a huge installed fan base. You can look how engaged consumers are in the story. They want to see the movie.
Lionsgate, which recently bought Summit, home of the Twilight franchise, is a big believer in the financial firepower of female moviegoers.
I think the industry has run into a little bit of difficulty, particularly with the go-to audience of young males.
While Hunger Games is violent enough for the guys, it has a passionate female following.
She's such a warrior, and it shows you that girls don't have to be pretty.
There's a great deal of energy in Hollywood going into existing properties. So you have Hunger Games and you have existing books that people feel very comfortable about being known entities. When you say, hey, here's this brand new original idea, it's very difficult to raise money for that.
Unless you're John Carter director Andrew Stanton. Instead of betting on a story popular today, Disney bet on a popular director, giving Stanton $250 million for a film based on a book nearly 100 years old.
It's about a Civil War veteran who suddenly finds himself on Mars.
Good God, I'm on Mars.
A very difficult story to tell.
And apparently difficult to market, given Disney's $200 million write-down on the film.
Frankly, I'm so used to making films that marketing has always had a tough time trying to get. You know, you got a rat cooking in a kitchen, you got an old man in a Korean Boy Scout, you got a silent movie robot. You know, we're never making it easy for marketing. You just got to trust us that we made anything we make, it's for the love of cinema.
John Ehrlichman, Bloomberg, San Francisco.
So what makes the big difference between a blockbuster and a flop? Well, with me now is Andy Gershon. He's a partner at Wonderland Sound and Vision. They made Charlie's Angels, Full Throttle, so he knows a little bit about making big movies. Now, Andy, give us the quick and dirty here on John Carter versus Hunger Games. Both two major movies, tons of dough put into them, huge marketing. Where's the big difference?
The big difference is with the Hunger Game, you have a much bigger demographic. It's coming off a hugely successful trilogy of books, 24 million plus books sold. It's very contemporary, it's very current, big demographic, from teenagers all the way up to people my age.
Not teenagers, not even close. And what about John Carter? I mean, this movie, they've been trying to make it for years. It's huge.
It was one of those situations where you had a regime change at Disney in the studio side. You had a first-time director moving from animation to live action, which is a very different genre as far as movie making and storytelling go. And quite frankly, you have a very dated piece of material that is about the Civil War and Mars, and in today's world, maybe 20, 30, 40 years ago when this movie was first started being developed in Hollywood, it might have seemed fresh, but now it just seems like a dated idea.
Now they're projecting a $200 million loss for Disney. Can Disney just make up for something like this?
Yeah, you just, Ishtar, Heaven's Gate, Hollywood's littered with movies like this, and Disney will just pick up and keep going. The truth of the matter is that it's a $200 million hiccup for a quarter, but it's not like there's damage to an ESPN franchise or to the theme parks, to something that's really core Disney as far as their earnings go.
Well, then what is the studio trend this day? Are they only putting out films that have these great merchandising options?
Pretty much that's the way things have moved with the major studios. Much like what happened in the record business with the major labels, you now have the tent poles, the blockbusters, which is really what the infrastructure of the major movie studios are built for. They're part of huge entertainment conglomerates, and the content from film has to feed all the other components of the conglomerate, whether it be T-shirts or whether it be rides at theme parks. So it's really become about the tent pole for the studios.
Then can you speak about marketing for a moment? Obviously, it's a huge component. Where do they miss here? How does it go wrong?
Where marketing can go wrong, quite frankly, is at the end of the day, the content has to be great, because the one marketing tool that's the most important marketing tool, especially when it comes to content and film, is word of mouth. And with social media, more than anything, with Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Tout, all the different social mediums that are out there now, word of mouth spreads instantaneously. So as soon as the Hunger Game has its first showing, everybody will know whether it's good or bad.
How important is the timing of the release here? We hear a lot about that as it relates to Oscars, but these kind of movies have little to do with that.
Pretty much, you want to find a window where you have as little competition as possible so that you could really saturate all the marketing around it, whether it be the appearances on the morning shows, late night TV shows, your advertising spends so it doesn't run and convolute with competition with other movies. So you really kind of want to find that window that you can slide through as far as the release.
Does this mean you and me tonight, the midnight showing of Hunger Games?
We're there.
We're there. Thank you, Andy Gershon, partner at Wonderland Sound and Vision.